Welcome back.
Welcome back.
That song is banging, man.
Oh, yeah, you do love that song. All right, so yeah, welcome back to another episode of Five and Out. We got our special guest, KDot again, up there. Yeah, there we go.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I like being here.
So this week we got 4 topics. Remember, 5 minutes per topic. So
5 minutes per person per topic. Got it.
No. That's not how this works.
Yeah, and that means, James, you can't bring out the computer and try to find something. You're wasting time.
Well, look, I'm not going to say too much this time, so it's on y'all. All right.
The narrator topics, right? Very good.
Nah, kind of. You can make it. I mean, I can make anything about the Raiders. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to this week.
Just saying, don't set yourself up to fail.
That's right.
It's not. I'm all right. Whatever. All right. So first topic we got this week is Katt Williams. Everybody's been talking about Katt Williams like forever, but the one that we want to stick on is how fast do you think Katt Williams really is? He said he ran a 4.4, but what do you think he actually did run?
I'm so glad I read the policy before we started the show because I was about to say some stuff. First off, anyways, the man runs it like a 6 flat, 5.6.
You see his shoulders?
Because first off, y'all do know how long a court is, right?
Yeah,
94 feet.
Okay, and y'all do know how long a 40-yard dash is, correct?
40 yards. Oh, did you want me to keep it in the same? My bad.
Where'd you go, Ron? Where'd you go? And he muted himself. Oh, he left.
Just answered the question.
You know what the funniest part is? I don't even know if he can get back in. So this shit ain't Zoom.
There he is.
My bad.
Now you can say shit. I'm gonna say shit a lot because I can't say other stuff.
PG-13. Like, no. Thank you, editor. You got put in time out, bro.
I was so ready to pod, and he just made my skin itch. Just go on, come on.
All right, so what you got? What do you think his 40 time is?
Okay, so like actually mathematically, because I know math apparently. If you extrapolate the fact that he ran a 4.47 in that video and it was a basketball court, and then you would take that, which is the basketball court's just north of 30 yards, you'd look at that and you'd say, okay, if he were to keep roughly the same pace that he was doing, then looking at the 40-yard dash, the approximate time would be 5.71. That would be the approximate time. And that's taken into account if he were to keep the same sort of pace that he was on.
Which you probably
looking at him and looking at what he was doing and the way those shoulders and stuff look, I doubt that would be the case. So I'm going to say it's going to be slower than 5.71 seconds. So I'm going to
When was that?
5.9.
When was that recorded?
I have no idea.
I just want to check. I just want to check. He's still
like his legs was moving.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Crack
legs
speed
moving.
is different.
But but he got short legs, like, so he's moving, but he ain't going nowhere.
Because crack motivates you to do certain things.
I ain't gonna say that man's on.
I ain't gonna say that either. I take it back. I'm sorry.
That's disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm out. I'm not trying to be. Nope.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get attacked by a comedian?
No, it's not even that. I just don't want that karma for me. I ain't gonna call nobody like. I ain't see him shoot up, so I ain't saying nothing like that.
Look, I'm saying there was one time I was in a comedy
club.
You
seen his hairline shoot back.
See,
I mean, that's how you get old.
You playing with fire. So, like, I used to shave my head, and it was one time I was in a comedy club. It was in the front row, and Eddie Griffin was on stage. And Eddie Griffin looked at me, and he said, I looked like a fake Heavy D with a Suge Knight starter beard. And that stuck with me. I think I talked about it in therapy. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna forget it. I'm gonna stay on Katt's good side. I'm gonna stay on the good side.
Yeah.
So, Katt, just looking at it mathematically, brother, I'm just saying, we extrapolate the numbers and we do the mathematician stuff, and it's 5.71. And that's being generous, but just keeping it to the math. And you read a lot of books. I mean, 3,000 books is like a 6-year-old. You know, math. Yeah.
And I will say this though, that timer, I would kind of relate it to how much views that thing got for the Unk and how like fast the views got. That thing got a lot of views of that Shannon Sharp and Katt Williams interview. So we want to bring that into that. All right, that makes plenty of sense of how fast, but but actuality. Yeah, he's like a 5'7", 5'6".
I'm saying after seeing Kevin Hart rip everything apart trying to race, what was this? Stephen Ridley?
Oh yeah, Ridley.
Yeah. I think the Kevin Hart Katt Williams 40-yard dash is happening next combine.
Nah.
Fun out there.
They're gonna scrap halfway through.
I just think it'd be fun.
That'll turn into a fight.
Get off the weed. Okay.
All right. So we got to the bottom of that one. 20 seconds to spare.
Good job.
I could bring up the Raiders, but I'm not going to. All right.
How the hell would you bring up the Raiders in that?
I just did. All right. So next topic.
Touche.
Yep. We're going to go into the whole situation with Jim Harbaugh. Michigan just won the national championship. Congrats to them. Oh, he did get a video. All right. So all right. The question I have for you guys is, where do you think Jim Harbaugh should go in the NFL if he leaves Michigan?
I think it's the team that is most attached to him when it comes to the rumors and everything, and I'm going to go with the Chargers. I just think that if I'm looking at Jim Harbaugh, what you're realizing with him is that you don't want a full, complete rebuild, which I know a lot of people look at the Chargers in a cap situation and be like, oh, well, what are they going to do? But I think the most important thing everybody would admit to, maybe I don't necessarily follow the same philosophy, but would be the quarterback situation. And the quarterback situation is they have Justin Herbert, and he's a dude. He might not be great, but he's a dude. He's a franchise quality starting quarterback. And I think if you're looking at Jim Harbaugh, you're expecting somebody to come in there on a short window. I don't expect Jim Harbaugh to stay any particular place more than 4 or 5 years maximum. And if I'm looking at, all right, if we don't want to spend time in the first 2 years developing a guy, and if you're looking at the top of the draft chart and who has actual spots available, Washington would be the only other place. But what we're doing as far as the GM thing, I just don't think fits with what Jim Harbaugh wants to do, which is they're going to have full control over something. I just think the Chargers make the absolute most sense.
He shouldn't come to the NFL. He should stay in college. Let's look at his little track record he has. Let's start with Michigan. What quarterbacks has come out from under Michigan under Harbaugh?
Nobody knows.
Okay. The national championship. What was the most yards gained? Actually, the whole playoffs. Was it running or was it throwing?
Running for sure.
So who is going to adopt that from him in the NFL when clearly the NFL is about passing the ball?
I could see him in Washington.
I would just do you not remember his time in the NFL with San Francisco?
And the times were different.
But if
it was really short-lived. Like they made an appearance and then they went this way.
It was very short-lived because him and the owner in the front office butted heads immediately, and he said, "I'm done and I'm out." That was the reason he left San Francisco. But if you're looking at like if we're looking at the top teams in the NFL, right? We would consider, at least maybe not currently, but over the course of the season, San Francisco, Miami, Baltimore, Philadelphia. What do all of those teams have? An amazing running game. So like the idea would be that, like, Kyle Shanahan's known for, they run the ball more than they're passing the ball with Brock Purdy out there. Probably best complete offensive system you're going to see in the NFL. The Miami Dolphins are known for any one of those running backs, A-Shane, Mostert, name whoever you want to. They have the guys that are going to be able to run the football because of the schema they have. It's the same stuff. It's the Shanahan tree and the Kubiak tree, the Alex Gibbs tree, all those guys that the zone running and what it is they adapt to it. Philadelphia, without A.J. Brown there, I know they're going to struggle like hell, but the idea of what it is they were doing in Philadelphia, even the plays that are known for as far as the tush push, is a running play. Like the idea is regardless of what you think about the new NFL with all the passing that happens, and it does happen a lot, you still need to have a good rushing attack. And if you got a Justin Herbert with an Austin Eckler, whoever it is they have in the backfield, that to me, if they block correctly, they have the right scheme in, fits.
See, this is the problem. I knew if we was gonna talk about Katt Williams, some of that, was gonna just roll over and it was gonna mess with the whole pod. Because now it just sounds crazy. Because let's get back to Harbaugh and let's get back to how college football really works, right? The difference between college football and NFL is what? You get to play the elite every weekend. He does not. He has not. So he wins one natty out of all the other failed attempts, and now he should get a job when there's more qualified guys in the NFL going against the elite every weekend who's more deserving of a job than Harbaugh.
All right. So I understand that point, and I received that point, right? Mm-hmm. We're not saying that there aren't more deserving people. It's more so like, if you're Harbaugh, where should you go?
I'm not saying that.
You should stay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying that, because I do remember what he did as far as in the NFL and what that San Francisco team was doing with the Colin Kaepernick and everything else. That was a special freaking offense. And like,
I want him to go to the Commanders.
I'd have Harbaugh here in a heartbeat if it wasn't for the fact that we have Ian Cunningham and Adam Peters looking at the GM job. And the first thing I see a Harbaugh doing is ostracizing himself and the coaching staff away from the front office, because that's how he typically does stuff. He wants to run the show. And I just think the way that Washington has been for so long with Dan Snyder and stuff, I'd like to split that up a little bit.
All right. That's it. Fair enough. Now, we do have like a spinoff for this topic, right? It's about the current coaches in the NFL, right? Mm-hmm. So I tasked you guys with the idea of telling me who, like, one coach to stay and one coach you think should go. One that currently has a job, because we already know, like, Bill Belichick, Ron Rivera, they're all out and stuff like that. So let's see who y'all got. Ready? Go.
My first easy one, who should we doing the ones that should go or stay? Or we could do both at the same time.
Do both.
I think the easiest one right now that just comes to mind is Antonio Pierce. I think Antonio Pierce is now that Mike Vrabel's gone, is our new Mike Vrabel. He'd be the new Mike Vrabel of the Raiders. And I'm saying that just because of like the amount of like love that they give this dude is in the locker room. Like, if you follow guys like Crosby, like, that energy is way different, and it comes onto the field. So I said that's the easy one for me. Now the hard one I'm having for me, I'm having a hard time. You was asking me just to pick one, because I literally have three on my mind. I'm gonna say one because I know we have another topic to touch on it, but Mike McCarthy. If they're going to lose. When they lose, he got to go. Their winning, to me, is empty calories. You have like 8 bye weeks this year. And then when the games that mattered, you lost. You got like 700 third down backs. Like, and you know the crazy thing is, I was talking to one of my clients, and I'm actually about to make this bet on FanDuel. My client thinks that the Packers are going to make it to the NFC Championship. At first, I was looking at him crazy. I'm like, what in the world? But then he had me thinking, if the Packers beat the Cowboys at midnight, I need to see Mike McCarthy gone. Midnight on the dot. Not 12:01, not 12:05. Midnight. You got to go. You lose to a man named Love.
What is that?
All right, go ahead, KDot.
What are you doing? All right, as far as if I'm picking any coach to go, I'm choosing Matt Eberflus up in Chicago. Okay. What Chicago is doing right now just makes no sense. To me, it seems as though you have a franchise that has a plethora of riches, and they have no earthly idea what they should do with any of this stuff. The idea that they would can Luke Getsy, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback's coach, but then keep a good portion of the offensive coaching staff to then potentially either keep Justin Fields to bring in another offensive coordinator to then teach him a brand new system with this coach who hasn't really done a great job. Why is he there? And if they're going to draft Caleb Williams, dude, get rid of him. Like, then hire the coach that's going to take Caleb Williams to the promised land, especially with as many great coaches that are out there right now. Chicago, to me, just the one that makes the most sense. Why are you holding on to Eberflus? They don't know what they're doing. As far as the coaches to stay, I'm going to say it's a tie for 2, which is the rumors that are happening, and it touches on what Ron was doing, was the NFC East coaches. And trust me, I don't want to say any good things about Philadelphia or Dallas, because I hate both of those franchises with everything, every iota of my being. But the idea to me is that if you fire Nick Sirianni or Mike McCarthy, it's an egregious overreaction to what is happening. They have really good records. If you're looking at Philadelphia and what they did as far as ousting their offensive and defensive coordinator last offseason, there is a transition period. This team does not seem as though they're as cohesive as they were, but that also comes with the Super Bowl hangover, which typically happens for most teams. I just think that overall, anything that they would do as far as firing him would be a distinct overreaction. And Mike McCarthy for Dallas, this is the first year that he took back over the play calling. And I'm sorry, but that offense, even without having a number 1 back, I think we were all wrong as far as Tony Pollard went. Maybe not Ron, but the idea as far as that, their offense has been clicking like crazy. Dak Prescott's had the best year he's ever had as a quarterback. And you only play the teams that you have on your schedule. And what they did at home was tremendous. I mean, up until the last couple weeks of the season, they didn't lose at home since 2022, and they were beating the heck out of teams. So I'm just saying, overall, if you switch up on any one of those guys, it's an overreaction to some nonsense.
Okay. Well, y'all took some of the people that I had.
Sorry.
So I'm gonna go ahead and just say this then. To stay, I got Mike Tomlin, just because of how people are calling for his job for no fucking reason. And then to go, I have Brian Daboll. Like, I don't know what the hell the Giants are doing. So keep that one the way it is.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on.
20 seconds still. Go ahead.
Hold on. Stop saying that for no reason, James, when you know exactly what the reason is.
What's the reason?
He don't have real control. Like you've been dismissing this fact for a very long time. He doesn't have real control of that team.
Who got control of the team?
It ain't him.
I said who, but all right. All right, next one. Jameis Winston. Mm-hmm. Final game of the season. Arthur Smith was going to get fired anyway, but the cherry on top was at the end of the game. What was the final score of that game?
48-17.
All right, so it was 41-17, and they were in victory formation at the 1. And Jameis Winston decided to run a play for Jamal Williams to get his touchdown. He didn't have anything on the year so far, and this is his last opportunity to get a touchdown. And they said, "Fuck it, we're doing it." So, do you have an issue with Jameis Winston for doing this?
Majorly. Okay. This is Bush League crap. This is something the loser does. Now, look, I've been a Jameis Winston supporter in the sense of how much fun he is to watch. But it's not when he's trying to equate it, or people are trying to equate it to like a fake spike. That's a spike. That's not victory formation when the defense isn't lined up even. When they're like, hey, we know you guys beat us. We're just going to stand here. And you run up the score in that sort of situation. I'm hoping he can bounce back from this. But I'll tell you right now, if I was Dennis Allen, you either cut him, or we did another podcast where I heard a good idea from Boy Keem. And he was like, then there needs to be a statement that comes out that, hey, we handled it internally in the locker room or something. But there needs to be something that happens in that locker room to get someone on the right track. Because this is not – it undermines everything you're doing as far as the head coach. And the one thing that everybody's always said about Jameis is what he means to a locker room. But if what he means to a locker room is just ultimately undermining the head coach, then you don't need that.
Ron?
I 1,000% agree with KDot. 1,000.
World's ending.
All right, 1,001. If you wanted to score with your guy, won't you just line up in a regular play and dismiss the coach?
Right.
It's not that hard. Hey, we're going to get into a dive position. We're not going to just let the defense just be all standing there, getting ready to shake hands with you because the game is over, and you're gonna run a play. And I want to take this a little bit further too, because I've been a person who's been on Cam's side, and I watched his 4-for-1 thing yesterday, and I wrote him a nice little lengthy comment because, again, why I've really been getting a lot of these people who want to enter to the world of the pod, and they have so much to say. The problem is you talk too damn much. And when you talk so much, you do leave openings for someone to come and mess up your argument. And so basically, I'm not going to get too much of what he said, but what I'm about to follow on is this. If you don't want to get in line, the NFL ain't for you then. I tell my guys all the time, football is the closest thing to the military. You got someone yelling at your face. You have someone giving you orders, giving you instructions. There is a hierarchy in the military, just like there's a hierarchy in the NFL. If you do not want to get in line, make your own league. The man has 17 weeks to score a touchdown. He has 17 weeks. Like, do we want to really say, "Ooh, wow, you scored a touchdown," when the defense didn't even really try?
All right, so it sounds like you guys, main issue is that they did this out of victory formation. If Dennis Allen called for victory formation and he said, "Fuck it," all right, that's 2 for me. My bad. He said, "Screw it." I know it's a long day. He said, "Screw it," and he was like, "Yeah, we're gonna run a dive or a draw for Jamal Williams to score a touchdown." Would you have had an issue?
I'd still have an issue to a certain degree, just because this isn't Rudy. This isn't the dude that's been a scrub on the sidelines all year, and we're gonna make him feel good. He led the league in touchdowns last year. Dog, chill out. What are we doing? Yeah, we like Jamal Williams, but this is not necessary. Did he get a bonus? No. There was nothing. They just wanted to have one. This doesn't make any sense. I understand what Dennis Allen was like. No, guys, we won. This is a team we have to play twice a year. Yes, a rivalry, but it doesn't make sense to do this. We won. We clearly won.
And he was also on my list about somebody who should probably go.
Dennis?
And also the other dude I was leaning on to was the Eagles coach. He might need to go too.
Yeah, you missed this part. KDot addressed that already too.
Oh, good job, Greg. Hey.
No, you said you were wrong, but yeah.
About what? About McCarthy?
McCarthy and
Sirianni. All right. So, last one we got for this week. Ron, this is definitely your question. So I'm gonna ask it for you. What did we learn about the Warriors while Draymond Green was suspended?
What did we learn? That team got no backbone when Draymond ain't there. That team is like one of those little skeletons you see in an anatomy class. That's what they are, a bunch of bones. They're just empty.
Just no backbone.
Just really no
skeleton.
Yeah, but there's a backbone, but it's empty. You know what I mean? There's a skeleton and it's empty. You know what I mean?
All backbone. It's just bones.
No muscle. I got
it. No muscle, no organs, heart, no eyeballs,
no heart.
But a lot of backbone.
So that's all that really is. And it's only got 5 minutes to really talk about them, because honestly, the dynasty is over. It's a wrap. That team, it's a wrap for Kurt too, because this is a little bit knock on him and his coaching. And I say that just because if you just follow basketball, he's not evolving. He's still running his same philosophy, and he thinks it's going to work. No, it's not working. Clay's missing a lot of ligaments. Draymond wants to go around and slap people. And Curry's Curry. It's over. That's my statement. It's over.
KDot, what's your
that's the thing. I don't think we learned. I don't necessarily think I learned anything since Draymond's been out, but I will say that you can clearly see something's been up pretty much since the Draymond slap. Number one red flag was that video got released in the first place, and we still haven't heard what happened as far as that video. That's not a tight ship. Like, even when I'm hearing like the Commanders are the Jordan Poole video, the fact that like Bob Myers is connected to the Commanders, all this stuff that's happened with the Warriors fairly recently has me concerned about like, is Bob Myers the Bob Myers that we all gave him credit for being at some points? There is an element of like the Warriors try to be so nice in the way that they handle things. There is a lack of backbone or a lack of this is a business and we need to win. There was an idea that like when they had Wiggins out there in that playoff and he was doing it up, that you look at Kuminga and all the rest of the guys, they need playing time. We need to move on, guys. Like if you were looking at any other organization, Clay needed to be gone a while ago. You don't give him that contract and keep him around for that long. These are dudes that are like, hey, we're going to keep our monuments to our guys here on the court, and they're going to go out together. They're going to lose a bunch of games together. But yeah, it might look great for them to do that, but they're not running it like an organization is supposed to be run. They're running it with all these touchy feels of the threesome that we've had and all. Look, remember all the memories? And they're going to lose. And they're ruining the future because they actually had a pretty good core of guys. And they're not learning. The locker room without Draymond there, like you said, there is no backbone. There's nobody there that teaches them anything about attitude. It's just not. It doesn't exist. And Kerr's lineups are trash.
They could have had LaMelo too, right? Because they picked Wiseman over him.
They could have had a bunch of stuff. Like that's the thing is like they could have done anything to show that we're moving to the next thing. And that was what made Golden State scary to us after the last championship. Was you looked across the roster, you're like, yo, they got a bunch of young dudes and they might, and then what do they do? Let's run out the same stuff we always do.
Yeah.
Two out of 4.
Who do you think is gone? Who do you think is gone?
Who do I think is gone from there? I have no idea.
Not like this offseason.
Clay.
Where do you think he goes?
Who cares?
He might need to retire.
Really?
Because when I say he might, and again, I'm not. This is my opinion.
Adder just says Portland.
Portland.
Yeah, the Trailblazers.
And come off the bench. Because that's the problem with a lot of these guys. These star players and stuff. You know what I mean? They get to a point in their career, they think the bench is too big for them. That's what I'm saying. He probably needs to retire because he's not going to be a premier player at another team unless he's going to Detroit. You can go to Detroit. You can start at Detroit.
I mean,
if he could work on that shot again and just be a six-man off the bench, just be a lethal shooter. But it's not. But he's not as lethal as he was, and that's an issue.
It reminds me of Peja.
And I don't know. And honestly, I don't know if that philosophy would work at another team.
3 games.
I don't see a lot of places for Clay to fit just because of age or whatever. It's completely deteriorated.
All right.
Yeah, and he can't guard.
Clay's a good dude. I like Clay.
So we got a quick out. It's for KDot. So normally it will be 3 minutes, but just so that we cover ourselves and give less time for this to go bad, we're going with 2 minutes.
Me, give me 90 seconds.
There's no route that's 2 yards, right? Nothing. All right, quick out. Let's go.
I mean, it could be 1 minute, and you got the 0. So whatever.
I'm testing something out. I'm gonna say banana and tell me if you can hear me. Okay. No. Okay, sweet. My mute button here works. All right, so, Jason Whitlock.
Go ahead.
That.
It's an audio podcast, and the whole shit, you can't hear nothing. Insanity.
All right, so if you're a lip reader, you might have been able to make out some of that. But I will say the one good thing about this entire Jason Whitlock thing, because there's nothing really you can say good about him. He is scum. He's scum. He's the worst of worst. And the thing is, like, even bringing him up in any sort of platform whatsoever feels like an indictment that you're part of like a crime, that you know he's doing this for attention. And the fact that you even bring him up helps him as far as an engagement or his mentions or anything else feels like you should be locked up for doing so because you know what he wants and you're feeding into it, right? He's the troll of the biggest order. But the only positive thing I could say is it has made me want to lose weight. Because my feelings have been hurt every time I've been call him a fat bastard. And every time I see him, I'm like, I pull up my YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, I could be called a fat bastard. I don't want to be in the same category as Whitlock. I don't want to be in his. I want to be there. So like, thank you. Uncle Ruckus Monk.
I understood everything you just said there. That was all right. You know what? And the best part, exactly 90 seconds. My guy.
There you go.
That's crazy. Hey, but can I say one thing though? And this is not even really about Jason Whitlock. This is more so about Stephen A. I'm gonna say it. I think he only responded because of the Katt and the Shannon.
I think it was probably. I think that way. I think if we're waiting things, I think that was absolutely in it. But also, his book came out on paperback, as he continued to remind us throughout that entire YouTube video.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because I was just like, for how much times Jason Whitlock has said something about ESPN for First Take, you're indirectly talking about Stephen A. For how many times he said it, I find it kind of ironic that Stephen A. wants to say something when this storm we're in right now with Katt and Shannon. I was playing around with it earlier about, how people are getting money or views off of devil's money. Because because there's a lot of negativity behind it. So like it's getting a lot of money and stuff. So it's like when Stephen A. did it and responded, I was kind of just like, be honest with you. If this was KDot, I would have gladly sat back and just laughed at it because it's just like that seems really like genuine. It felt to me forced, faked when it came to Stephen A. It looked like you wanted some type of attention so you can get people on your platform. I'm just putting that